band out as well. You could throw it into the off lane. You could throw it mid. It's a basher builder, so decent counter to the Enigma. You can get away with the Tusk. You've got two other heroes that really want to go in onto the front lines. Like maybe it's a Lesh 1, Nature's Prophet 3. Again, no players play something.
Literally all of them. I mean, OG, really intrigued to see how Bet Boom look.
MSS does in Europe.
Yep. Intrigued to see how Bet Boom look, because that is a roster of some incredible talent, but are they going to be able to gel together?
Will we see a Morphling mid-Midas from GPK come through again like Saw got them knocked out? I'm very happy to see DM get a chance on a Western European team. That's the one that I'm most intrigued to see. He's a bit of a WoW fan himself, so he was telling me that he's been playing a little bit too.
DB's from
DB or DM? There's a lot of D.
Sorry, I looked at DB. From everything I've heard, DM is a lovely guy, and I've always enjoyed casting his games and watching games as well. So hoping for the best for him. And of course there's a lot of other rosters that are incredibly exciting as well, just going across every region. So we are in for I took a look at Moon tweeted at the end of TI saying that the roster changes was looking like a little bit of Game of Thrones-esque with kind of the strategies going on, and there's definitely some rosters that are going to be exciting to keep close attention on.
I'm assuming he was talking about Saberlight with that one, because now he's gone over to, was it Shopify Rebellion?
Such a horrible name.
Well, I mean, Shopify is Shopify. They're not going to spend all that money on these players and then not have their brand out there.
So it's actually sponsored by them? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I didn't know if it was...
They've been interested in sponsoring a team for quite some time, I believe. So they've found the right one, and it's one with Saberlight as the offlane. So sometimes it's not about just, are you able to pick up the best players? It's like they've directly weakened their biggest competition as well. So I think I was about to call them EG. I think Shopify should be very happy about that.
Well, who do we feel like is going to be the most happy in regards to the laning phase? Going through all threes, is there going to be a lane for a team in particular that is going to get the most enjoyment out of this?
I think Execration should be very happy with how things have panned out. You've got the Dawnbreaker that's going to deal with the Treants a little bit, provide a lot of harassment, that strong frontline body against the Nature's Prophet. Bottom lane, again, you've got a Disruptor and a Slark against two melee heroes. I talked about it before, why that's so strong. Does get given away if Palos gives up too much of his HP for free, but you can see he wants to get aggressive. He's got the Orb of Venom picked up, and then mid, Tusk, good amount of right-click damage against the low armor on your way. He should be doing just fine as well.
I think this, definitely bottom lane, we're going to have a lot of action. I think level 2 could be a potential for Execration to get aggressive. I think for Army Geniuses, you're probably looking at that second point in the Scorched Earth. I was kind of expecting CML to play a little bit more off the back of pulling the wave and avoiding early. Maybe they might do it now that those twos do come out, because you see instantly. Yeah, they just run. Glimpse back onto DB, and Scorched Earth on cooldown means that he can't really turn and do some damage as well at the same time. So this is going to be an easy kill for Palos to find.
It is indeed. He was really holding that TP, wanting to avoid the pounce as much as possible. I didn't quite see if the pounce actually landed onto him or if CML had positioned himself in the way to be able to tank that up a little bit. But regardless, they do get that first blood onto the Slark, so Palos should be very happy with that. He just wants to continue this snowball rolling. Next time, level 3 is when they could be going for it.
And with this top lane, I think for In Your Dream, he was able to rival Palos's Nature's Prophet game that we saw through the group stages, where he was probably one of the best Nature's Prophet games I've ever seen. Again, they're in CML. No escape. And we're continuing to see how difficult of a lane this can truly be, as Palos up to 2 stacks now, and we'll be playing with level 3 shortly, so it's not going to get any easier.
Yeah, I'm honestly very surprised that they didn't go for any kind of like lane pull happenings, right? You've got the Earth Spirit just holding on to a... Is that his magic wand recipe? Maybe it's DB's. Who knows? But anyway, you just wanted to avoid this lane as much as possible. You've got the movement speed advantage as an Earth Spirit compared to a Disruptor. Actually, no, you don't. Kind of surprising. I thought Earth Spirit was faster than that. But anyway, this lane has gone just how I expected to if the lane was just done as standard.
You'll be starting to try and build into kind of the movement speed to play this lane. Windlace phase boots queued up, so... they're going to... DB, alright. Picks up second point in the Scourge Earth, and instantly going to look to try and get aggressive onto Carlo. Might be forced to use the glimpse, but instead DB can just continue to chase him down, and now Palace will be zoned out as well. So this is really important. This bottom lane in particular, Army Geniuses, whenever the Scorch Earth is available, they will feel relatively strong, and when it's on cooldown Execration, that is always an opening for them.
Yeah, they were hungry for that kill, though, on Execration. Really just opting to wait for the glimpse, potentially, once they got back underneath the tower, to bring them back, get another kill on top of everything else that they've already been able to claim for Palace. So, the fact that they weren't able to get it, it's a shame, but they were just going for the highest reward possible.
You see that Army Geniuses were able to secure the rune for Yowie and also take it away.
I want to be careful here.
This time we'll be able to use the glimpse to send CML out of range to continue playing aggressive, so this time Scorched Earth will not be able to pay off for them, so DB is just going to use it to farm up a little bit.
I like seeing Carlo's build as well. Maximum stats that he can get, all those Iron Branches.
Top lane. In your dream, he might be in trouble though, Vavrish. Acting as a deterrent with the Inkswell is going to send Shanks and Tino away. They had an opportunity with Shanks being able to kind of cut behind the Nature's Prophet position.
Rish has done a great job so far at just positioning himself without too much of a threat of himself
Bottom
dying.
lane. DB's in trouble, but they're actually going to look to try and take the fight, but the Scorched Earth up, and Palos, he doesn't get the lead onto the Doom, so DB continues to play Ring Around the Rosie. Gotta be a bit cautious still, though. Kick will hold Palos down into place. CML's getting a lot of damage out. Rolls on the mark. The body block's not gonna come through, and it's not required as CML actually gets the kill in the end. And you were saying, Danog, his Earth Spirit in Game 1 was formidable, and that's looking to be the case once again in Game 2.
I mean, yeah, he is such a beast on this. I'm sure they're saying, is it too late for the roster lock? Can we look to try and take him away from Polaris? Because he is working so well for Army Geniuses right now. Surely Carlo gets the kill.
Dude, he's level 5! Oh no. In the river, Yowie? So stun does connect. Gonna be playing with the Inkswell, and Yowie actually goes in, out to the right side as Bob is able to trade the life of the Void Spirit, so pretty happy with that. And it's also the Power Rune spawned down bottom as well, so Bob's going to get a refill in the bottle.
He'll gladly take that, just be able to pick up that Invis Rune. He might try and shove out this mid lane, but of course you're going to have the Void Spirit able to just come straight back into the lane in 5 seconds. Still seems to want that to be the priority though. Don't want the use of that fresh level 6 anywhere else on the map. Varese is going to need to go back to his top lane. A little surprised that they haven't made an attempt up here onto In Your Dream, but he's playing quite defensively when he knows that he doesn't have that backup. So good recognition there of the potential for some games. Bob's actually moved bottom though. He wants this kill onto DB, but he's going to be scouted out by the sentry.
He's going to go for CML instead. They do just get the glimpse back. But Tusk kind of committed with the snowball. A little bit awkward play, so they're going to be relying on the shards to hold CML down. Unfortunately for him, he will not be able to get out. Roll is up, but... Oh, they actually aren't able to get in front to block him, so that's a lot of time wasted.
Mm-hmm. Spirit's a very beefy boy, one of the highest strength gains in the entire game. He's also got those couple of gauntlets of strength. Bob's trying to hunt for this kill if he gets just a brief glimpse of him, but won't be able to.
Ooh. They're gonna go for DB? This is so much time wasted mid lane. They're killing off Shanks. Varish with 2 points at Inkswell means that Yowie can easily jump on forward, so you can't be happy with what's happening for Bob.
No, I mean, Yowe's basically been able to get a kill for free, as well as 2 full waves absolutely uncontested, and that rockets him from a losing lane up to the top of net worth. Bob, with all of those movements, goes down to the bottom. So huge kudos to CML to make sure that all of that time was wasted.
Oh, they got a haste and they're going to smoke instantly. And Radiant, they didn't have a ward there. They will not have any idea this is going on. Maybe with CML showing mid, it might act as a potential idea that something's happening across the map, but regardless, to jump in and an easy kill onto Tino's Enigma. They will be able to trade this across the map, though, as the Doom's going to go down, so both offlaners take a spill.
You're fairly happy with this still, though, on Army Geniuses. They could start to get a little bit of damage in onto this tower. They've got the early Blightstone there. Plenty of Treants as well to do the dirty work, and no real hero that's great at being able to clear this out. Just 2 levels into the Celestial Hammer at this stage for Shane.
Yeah, as soon as someone shows, they're just jumping. They do have the black hole for Tino. They're going to need way more boys to be able to help out as Tino... Well, he's going to be sent to the grave once again. Back-to-back deaths on the Enigma, and now this tower's going to go down as well. And meanwhile, DB, he's chasing down Carlo. Should be able to get a solo kill. Has the Doom now as well. The experience picked up thanks to the solo kill, and now they're going to get the Slark as well. Uh-oh, this game's starting to get out of control.
It is indeed. I mean, this is, again, another game where Execration should have had the edge coming out of that laning stage, but Army Geniuses, they're just able to influence these lanes and make sure that, you know, some of it's off the back of the power runes that they were able to pick up, but some of it's just individual skill coming out there. CML in particular, just dragging them around the map. Once again, not going the boots on the Earth Spirit.
They're onto In Your Dream. They're going to be cautious. This Wrath of Nature damage going to do a lot, especially with the rotations coming out and looking at putting their body in front of In Your Dream so they won't have an opening to kill off the Nature's Prophet. Palos is now in trouble as well as the roll once again. And CML, what do you know? He's got the Magnetize already. They won't get anything out of it. Palos will be able to scurry on away, but another tower will go down as a result of the rotations out of everyone on Army Geniuses.
Yeah, everyone's coming down bottom. It's for a very worthy cause, though, right? You're able to take the tier 1 tower. You've already taken tier 1 top, so that this glyph won't allow you to be able to defend this mid tower. I wonder if they even look to contest it, right? You've got a siege creep that's just come into this mid lane. He gets up the arcane rune as well.
Gonna be in some trouble, though. Doesn't dodge the stun. He will have an astral step shortly. Varishak's are gonna try and tip in. Soulbind holds them together, but the Static Storm's going to catch them off guard. They weren't ready for Carlo's involvement. So the Silence gets the kill, and now Bob's already looking for more. Will be a bit too deep. Glimpse back. Well, that'll potentially help off. So going to be cautious, though. The Stroke of Fate bringing them low, so CML, he actually rolls in aggressively. At least gets a kill before he's going to be sent to the morgue.
Very important that they were able to do that, and very important that they're able to deny, again, a lot of this creep gold, experience, whatever you want to call it, away from Army Geniuses. They have this big opening to be able to push the tier 1 tower, and you've just taken away the siege creep.
Somehow, even with those 2 deaths on Tino, he's still top of the net worth. Mid lane, your way, Sean. And you got Palos on top as well, so it's actually not looking too bad. I'm a bit surprised, even though they've lost some towers. At least the gold for their cause in particular is looking very, very good.
Yeah, everything right now behind is unfortunately for Bob. He's going into, what's that, a Falcon Blade, I'm guessing? Just so that he could stay out on the map, play a little bit more, not selflessly, but kill hungry. You know, he needs to be making a lot of that aggression happen. You're playing with a Slark. You want to make sure that you're scaling against that, because I don't think you're going to be able to play into the late game against a Doom.
Can they take the fight, though? Carlo's going to be the target with the Solar Guardian coming up, but the Snowball will suck them in. Does Joey still want to go for this nice dodge of the Static Storm? They'll glimpse him back, but he's on the other side. Tino, though, he wants to get involved. Won't have the ultimate to be able to utilize. Gotta be cautious, though, running into the river. Look at the sprout placement. Execration forced to try and stand their ground to Manfire, but the Inkspell stun onto 2. You couldn't have asked for better, as Army Geniuses find 4, and the river spills of blood.
Yeah, and again, it's the importance of this tier 1 tower, right? They committed so many people on Execration to try and defend it, but again, you mentioned it. That sprout placement just completely cutting off any avenue of escape. And then just landing that 4-man Inkswell coming through. Multiple uses of the Astral Step as well. Just connecting onto everyone.
We were speaking about it, and you really couldn't, because that's so much experience given over to Army Geniuses, and we were speaking in the draft that these are supports that want levels. Their damage is going to come out on their abilities being higher, and you've got both your supports at level 7. It's going to be scary with maxed out Inkswell for Yowei to play with, and they are hunting top, but no one's home because Execration, they're looking for their own play across the map. Down to bottom they go. They'll be able to run into CML on the tree line. DB's playing behind him. It could be the wraparound. They see a juicy target. DB, that's the one they want to kill off, and they should be able to get it. San's going to prevent the static storm, but they can still snowball over the tree line. DB gets the Midas off at least before he goes down, but that's the person they want to really slow down this game.
And they were tempting coming in there on the Nature's Prophet, using the Wrath of Nature, just to try and get a little bit of extra damage in, cause them to question themselves, but it is just the one death. And there was a fair few used there. You used the Shadow Dance, and I think that's going to be the big thing. You might even consider going straight back onto this bottom side of the map once the Doom's back alive. So, Alice, got to be sure to keep his eyes on the map.
Black Hole's up in a couple of seconds. Yoey's going to be really cautious. Static Storm, they won't even need the Black Hole. Glimpse back, he's able to dodge it. Can Yoey get out off the back of the haste? It looks like that'll be the case. As Army Geniuses somehow keep the position 2 alive, but maybe they won't help with DB. Bob's actually able to get the kill into the backline. Snowball to hold the Doom down. Tino feels like he doesn't even need the ultimate, as DB will still go down. Palace wants some essence. Beautifully done. They'll make sure he gets it.
They take the tower in the meantime. This is the hero that I like seeing, you know, the aura build a little bit more from. You can just see there Tino obviously playing with his stuns in the middle of the team fight. Midnight Pulse takes away a lot of that juking potential, and then you've got the pipe to protect not only yourself, not only your teammates, but it means that the Eidolons aren't super easy to be cleared as well. CML tried to do it on the Earth Spirit, but all while they were fighting, they were just taking a tower with the creeps. So really liking the play from Tino this time around.
Very nice scan. In your dream. They kind of sniff out this movement down to bottom from Palace, trying to catch him in the tree line. And he's actually got an ATOS as well for the Nature's Prophet, so working in the Gleipnir. See how this is able to help them in some of the mid-game fights.
You just want to make sure that you're catching the Tusk and the Dawn, I would say, is the main priority, right? No potential for roll until the BKB's up. No potential for the Celestial Hammer or the Solar Guardian.
And speaking of the Dawn, we see the Holy Locket build. And CML with his ward's going to be able to scout out Palace. So, yeah, it's going to be the Holy Locket probably into the Scepter as the game goes on. This was a build that we first saw. I think it was Zephyr that was doing it. I can't remember now what position 4 and see.
Yeah, this was back in TI 10, I think it was, when he was playing on T1.
Might have been. I can't remember which 4.
They won the game against LGD with that specific build.
Yeah, it's a very nice build to help out with a lot of their team fighting. And just potentially mitigating some of the Doom. The ultimate could be really important. As we do see Army Geniuses, though, smoke down. Palace is not an easy kill with these two. He's actually going to look to try and TP out. Yowei, he's going to be able to set up with the double damage rune as well. Might be enough to get the kill, but Palace protected with the Shadow Dance along with the Solar Guardian. But look at all the boy shot from Army Geniuses. As in your dream, even TP's in as well. Execration, though, looking for some revenge. Injury ducks in the tree line. They'll get a glimpse of him, though. Maxed out. Do they want to send him back? He's in range. They need a little bit of extra vision. He just slips out. Finally there. Back into the Static Storm they go. Yowei's nearby. They're going to be cautious. They group up. But the silence prevents the Black Hole, but it will not matter. In your dream still goes down. Can they take the fight though in Army Geniuses? You've got the Doom at the ready, so DB is going to look to chuck it out onto the Enigma with CML nearby. It's an easy kill for them to find.
Still important, though, to be able to slow down this Nature's Prophet. Again, he is the main source of any kind of push happening around the map. So I feel like as long as on Execration, if you're just stalling things out a little bit, you're going to be fairly okay with this, as long as you're getting decent trades. And, I mean, you've lost 3 tier 1s for sure, but you've already taken 2 yourself. You've got this Tusk lineup, 2 points tag team, still plenty of scaling left for Bob. I want to see them take a more successful team fight up towards the top side of the map and then look to posture around Roche.
Speaking about Bob, he's going to run into CML. Should be an easy kill for Execration of fine. Maybe? Shots puts him in an awkward spot. DB now can stop the path. They want to take the fight as well and truly into Radiant's territory. So they can start to bring the numbers. Slam down, holds DB into place. Soulbind still has something they can utilize. Yoe's going to get the jump in as well. There's going to be no response. It's up to Palace now, still with the leap on forward. Is able to finally bring down DB. And now in your dream, he could be the one that's in trouble. Stuck between two cores. There's no escape. He recognizes he needs to stand his ground and man fight as the black hole instantly gets cancelled. That could be the opening here for the turnaround on Army Geniuses as Yoe. Standing strong. An ultimate backup and available. Goes out to the left side. An ultra kill for the Void Spirit. He's looking for the Rampage. Can he find it? Remnants out. The right clicks are there. And Yoe gets a Rampage 18 minutes into the game.
He is a man on a mission. Look at his gold that he's got in the bank as well. That is an instant Aghanim Scepter, and what a worthy reward for such great play. You know, the damage being pumped inside of that Shadow Dance, always on point. Instantly interrupted that black hole, enabling that big turnaround, and he's just able to juke and jive his way to just completely influence these team fights in Army Genius's favor. This is what I was talking about. CML last game on his Earth Spirit and the beginning of this one on that Earth Spirit was absolutely insane, but Yoe, he is just a different kind of man from what we saw all of last season.
Mid lane, both sides are posturing on the opposite side of the river. 3v3
Yoe wants one creep. He's saying, give me a creep, come on. I need this surprise factor. They will not be expecting level 15 with the Aghanim Scepter on this Void Spirit at this stage of the game, and I would not be surprised at all if they just go for an immediate smoke off the back of this.
Yeah, they got the...
have one.
They do?
They do. Right. Sure, they're saying, Prophet, you got to push out this lane. Don't make our movement too obvious. Same sort of thing with this courier for Varese.
Bob, they sniff him out. They get a glimpse and they're going to pounce instantly on that opportunity. This Bob will go down. God-like streak for Yoe already. This guy has been incredible so far for Army Geniuses throughout this tournament, and it's not stopping short in this series.
Shanks is doing what the best support Dawnbreakers do, though. He is just using every little opportunity to shove out those lanes. He's got the maxed out Celestial Hammer, he's got the Holy Locket completed, plenty of gold towards the first part of his Aghanim Scepter, because he knows what his role is this game. Cause distractions, create that turnaround potential, and provide your team just that little bit of extra survivability that you need.
Mid lane. Again, Yoe. This time we'll be off the mark with the Remnant. In your dreams, got to TP in aggressively to be able to help out, and like you said, it does not matter at all. Your dream. Should he be worried? Solar Guardian to the middle. A lot of damage early on. Palace gonna have to be Khabib to play with, and he's gonna be okay. They get him out, but back into the middle. Static Storm's gonna get laid down as well. It's a big one if they can get the Void Spirit. You're Scepter to buy some time, and Yoe's actually gonna look to go in. Finishing blow, getting rid of the support, and now they're turning their attention over to Bob as well, as they're not done. CML, look at the roll over the tree lines, able to get to the Slark. The silence onto 2, and they can dive for more. Nothing they need to be afraid of. There's no turnaround potential without the buybacks. The kickback into the Doom, and they'll cut away the life of the Slark as Army Genius says they're not done. Yoe, oh my lord, this guy doesn't know when to stop.
Oh my god, beyond godlike on Yoe right now. 14, 2, and 12, just 21 minutes into this game. And that was with a Nature's Prophet that wasn't able to get that Wrath of Nature off. I could see that Palace is putting so much emphasis onto making sure that he's right-clicking down on that NP, draining the mana, making sure that this int hero is still an int hero, despite how much of his right-clicks is having an impact on In Your Dream, isn't going to be as much of a factor. But despite that, Yoe again, what an absolute beast. He's even got the Arcane Rune now.
Oh god. Look, he might have missed one rune this game. And in fact, I remember the Invis now on the toss, so we'll say potentially 2. But he's gotten so many runes and capitalize on those runes as well. It feels like we're always seeing Yoe get something out of the power runes. Are we just looking at like a BKB black hole now? Like, is this what they need to turn this game around for Execration? Because it just seems like in the team fights, they're getting outclassed. And it might be the case again now, because Army Geniuses, they're ready to go, and Execration, they too want to take a fight. Smoke on smoke. Bob will get the start. He's going to even go deeper. He wants to try and force them to clump up. There's the Static Storm, and Tino! He's in with the Black Hole, but where's the damage? Solar Guardian, now Palace into the middle as well. 3 go down, and they'll turn to Yoe. but it assimilate buys him time out to the left, and it feels like Army Geniuses can still take the fight, because in your dream, he's going to be the one that can turn it around, but then Nature's Prophet standing strong under the cover of the BKB. They need to kite Palace. They're going to be able to jump out of the Sprout. It'll kick him out to the right side. The Gleipnir holds him down as well, but the creeps scout out his escape. So now they'll look to try and clean up with a team wipe. CML has another roll back up. No stones to make it away, and they'll get him in the end. A team wipe for Execration, and what we were asking for was a huge black hole out of Tino, and we got it.
We got it indeed, and again, it was so close. Lots of tiny, tiny things in these team fights, just able to land the perfect placement on the Solar Guardian. The pounce immediately being used onto Yoe as all of his spells come up. Like, these players are playing so damn well, very worthy of being that top 3 in this tournament so far. I'm just wondering when the Roche is going to happen. There's so many fights taking place around this area, but everyone's dying. They just don't have the follow-up for it.
Palace is so rich after getting that streak. He just completed the BKB before that fight and now has 3,400 gold to work with, along with his level 18.
You ask a man to put you on his back, Palace is definitely quite reliable. He is proving that with complete surety so far. Ends up selling the Quelling Blade finally, 24 minutes into the game. So still something that you need to be mindful of whenever you're playing up against a Nature's Prophet is, you know, how close is he to that level 20? Am I going to be able to escape? Got 4 stuff on Carlo so far, but no one else. So it's really just going to be that you're playing around in these next 5 minutes or so. There we go. Ags picked up for Palos. And then once again, they're just saying, all right, Shanks, shove out a lane. He's like, all right. They commit on to B, then I'm sure we can get something happening on the other side of the map. And that's where Tino and Carlo are looking to position themselves. Play up top a little bit more. They might catch out for Reese, but good for stuff.
Still glimpsing back. Both sides are soon to connect. The instant silence actually stops the control. Bob's able to bring him down. An awkward fight for Army Geniuses is now DP. He's going to be in trouble as well. Like you said, the chain stuns were perfect, and the fight at the front of the pit means that Execration going to try and consider to get an objective now.
They're going to do it without Bob. He's just more keen on shoving out that lane, but I'm sure they're saying, oi, we need this tag team, and we need it now. It's still early enough that the Grimstroke might look to respawn and influence this fight if we give him too much of an opportunity. Would Yoa even consider it with the freshly picked up level 18? I wouldn't be surprised. Crimson Guard on CML as well. Here we go. They know what's happening. Is it going to be quick enough? Seems like they just want to protect their power runes, respecting the strength of Execration.
Alright, 5,000 deficit, but feels like a lot of momentum is into Execration's side, and they're feeling that because they're going to make a smoke. Moving down to bottom, Shanks might be in trouble, hiding to the tree line. It's a really aggressive TP in the river. Alright, smoke's gonna pop, so they see Varish and are back to bottom. They have found Shanks. They gotta get out quick though on Army Geniuses. Yoe will TP, CML. He's gonna try and roll out to the right side.
Palace.
Oh, beautifully done. Counts.
Say goodbye to your mana.
And also your essence as well, as Palace will take all of it.
I love how much emphasis they put onto protecting that bottom tower. They knew they wanted the aggressive play to happen because of how low the tower was sitting. It's playing as bait, basically, as it would really open up Army Geniuses to make even further plays around the map if they were able to secure that one. And well, the fact that they've been able to retain their glyph as well while getting those kill turnarounds is so huge for Execration.
Yep, because now you got the level 20 on Palace, so the +1 agi gain. The stack is incredibly important here for the Slarks.
Mindbreaker too.
Ooh, alright. Who does he have to bring down? Like Palace, he's got a lot of mobility and potential to just stick on a target in a team fight. So who is kind of the number one person he's going to be aiming?
I'd be focusing CML at least until his mana's drained, and then you can probably switch off to someone else, because he's gone very heavily into this Crimson Guard build, right? You take that out, you force him to pop it, you don't want to be spending too much time there. I think you can then look to convert onto someone like the Doom, for example, even the Void Spirit, just keep him locked down and allow your AoE spells on your Solar Guardian, on your Celestial Hammer, and on the Black Hole, more importantly, to start to come into play.
And also for Army Geniuses, we've seen that, of course, Yowei, a lot of the props have to be given to him, and well deserved. He's been carrying this team through a lot of the early game, but do we feel like In Your Dream is going to be able to take kind of the weight pretty shortly? He's top of the net worth. He too has had a very good game, but with all the farm that he's been getting, is this Nature's Prophet going to be scary as well?
I feel like the AC is a very scary prospect, right? Because it provides a lot more protection to someone like that Void Spirit. With all the farm that Yoei's got, he still doesn't have something like the Witchblade or the Shiva's Guard or something like that.
Starting to get a poke, getting Essence. Army Genius on the high ground, potentially ready to be able to jump if there was an opening, but I'll just help the retreat.
I just want Yowei to have a little bit more armor, right? So he's able to withstand these, the Slark, the Tusk. I mean, Bob's going into a Desolator next, so it's very clear that they just want to instantly burst down a bunch of these enemies. What I really like about how Palace has changed up his game is that he was kind of stagnant in the first, like, 10 or so minutes, but he's been roaming around the map, taking farm at all areas, just making sure that he's able to scout out so many of these wards. He's got one behind the Roche Pit. He knows where one is right in front of the Dire Ancient
Hang on, bottom lane In Your Dream.
On the high ground.
This is really aggressive. Okay.
The tower, though. Gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Just go for the biscuit. No, you've got the T2 tower claim, so the outpost is a potential for you to take, and it gives you an opportunity as well to get some of the other lanes shoved out. They're doing a good job to avoid the Ages.
And this is especially important because of what I was just saying about the wards, right? Like, they've got good vision all around the map on Execration, and now you don't have the ability to play around it because you're up against a Slark. He's going to know exactly where we can't play around, where we can't be looking to position ourselves because of that Shadow Dance. And now you don't have a tower to play around either, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for them and frees up Army Geniuses just that tiny bit that they might need to be able to enter the map with a little bit more confidence. They're just staying in the trees right now on Army Geniuses, respecting the fact that, well, they've been off the map for quite some time. They might know where our wards are, but all we know is that they're not showing on the map.
I wonder if they do fight shortly, though. It is daytime, so Slark's not going to have that night vision advantage. And Aegis expires in 30 seconds, so I reckon they're going to wait a little bit, then look to smoke.
They want to try and get DB up to his level 20. You know, just that little bit of extra reduced cooldown on one of his abilities could influence things, just enable him to fight a little bit more often against an Enigma in particular. The Doom advantage, for example, versus the Black Hole could be quite huge.
It's got that quickening charm and Octarine, so yeah. Get towards that 20 talent, then abilities even gonna have a higher uptime. And they're trying to give him that solo experience mid, and there you go. He's got it. So goes that Doom cooldown. 74-second cooldown out of the Doom, and importantly, he has the Blink and the Wall Stomp as well, so not all the weight is onto Yowei's back to initiate, but they've got to be cautious though, because Palace did just complete a Lincoln, so this might catch him off guard.
Let's see what they're able to do. I mean, yeah, the Lincolns that you were mentioning before, pretty important for himself, but damn important for Tino as well, at least until you're able to get into that Aghanim Scepter on DB.
CML roll in. They see Palace defending bottom. Looks like Execration make the call just to back up. They're not gonna get caught out on their triangle without the Slark nearby. So now that he's addressed this bottom wave, they'll look to recontrol the map once again. They are running underneath the ward as DB jumps, but the Static Storm in sleep. DB still able to play around with the BKB. Who does he want to try and target with that Doom? They're going to turn towards the toss. The Black Hole holds him down in the middle, so the Slark is able to feast away, getting all the essence he would ever require for the team fight, but still in the middle. Yowei waiting for the opening along with In Your Dream. They're going to look to try and TP in and hold them down as In Your Dream starting to get the damage going. Slark going to turn his attention back over, but they'll look to TP out as Army Geniuses. They don't want to stick around. Yowei, he'll have an ultimate up in a couple of seconds, but the pounce will prevent that as Paulos gets the double kill in the end, and a decent fight for Execration, even though they do have to buy back on Carlo.
Decent, but again, the Soulbind coming just a split second after the Doom had already been laid out. Just little things like that. You had In Your Dream show up a little bit late to the fight. Obviously, he still influenced it, able to clear up two of those free kills at the very end and TP back to safety, but it costs Yoe's life, and this means that Palos, with all of that essence shift that he was able to steal, then he's able to just be that tower pusher that, without the Enigma, most people think that they would be lacking. Not this late into the piece.
Not this late at all, and this is even without the 25, so just wait till he gets that 50 plus seconds on the essence shift. They've got really big Slark issues, and I wonder if... I don't know how you address it, because you said the Void Spirit needs a little bit of armor, and the fact that he's... What is he? 16, 4, and 17, and he's still like... You take a look at the position of the net worth on Yoe, like he's honestly not where you would expect at all, and I think
He's not been farming. He's been farming heroes.
Yeah,
that's the reason.
It's kind of the issue with the Void Spirit. Like, difficult to farm. Also, you want kills and can always take a spill in the net worth. And I wonder if there's going to be a Hex queued up shortly because they need to address Palos. They need to find a way to deal with the Slark because his read of these fights is just wherever the Nature's Prophet is, I'm running directly at you.
He's going into that Shiva's next, though, on Yoe, so I like the fact that he's prioritizing that a little bit. Wanting to maintain the buyback, though, with Roshan potentially spawning in just 5 seconds, they realize how important this is. They've already got such a difficult time with being able to get any sort of map vision for themselves because, again, of the stress of playing against a Slark, so at least having that secondary life gives your team a little bit of extra chances to be able to rejoin in onto you if that's how you want to play it.
They might need to get a gem here pretty shortly on Dire.
Yeah.
I hope they don't smoke under this ward. But so much information that Execration are playing with this goddamn Slark makes it very difficult.
It's like they're just running out into the lane right now. Placing up wards, and it's not under any kind of Radiant Vision. They seem to know that's where they're positioning themselves, so Execration are going to take a little bit of the slower route. Carlo staying under the safety of the high ground closer towards their towers.
Do they jump Palos? They need a way to break the Lincolns. Palos knows. And Execration, they're going to smoke up. Do they take the direct route?
They're just going to send the Eidolons.
Yeah, and Bob, he's going to run through the river as well. Be cautious. They're playing on the edge and they get the jump. Instantly onto DB, but the Static Storm going to be laid down as well. They take the Doom out of the equation. And now how do you take the team fight without your main control? And it looks like they won't even make the attempt. CML is going to go down, but they're already looking for the +1. In Your Dream's going to try and BKB TP up, but Bob's nearby to stop that short. They've got the Black Hole as well. So In Your Dream, no damage will come out from the Nature's Prophet as Execration. 3 heroes go down, and they can look to move to the pit if they want to. Or maybe Yoe. Oh, Palos just shy of the pounce.
Not sure if he would have been able to claim that kill. Yoe did still have a decent amount of mana to play with, plus the Yule Scepter, plus the BKB, but I mean, you just see Palos leaping across the entire map with his own Titan Sliver, dealing so much damage in all these team fights, and I really like the way that Bob was just looking for that follow-up. He knows In Your Dream wanted to get the hell out of there, gets the BKB force, uses the Walrus Punch, and creates the space to allow Tina to get the Black Hole. That wasn't for damage at that point, they're just trying to wait out that BKB so that your real damage dealer in Palos can look to connect and clean up that kill.
And now Palos is going to be playing with the Aghanim Shard here as well. So you've got the Depth Shroud online. Makes it even easier for him to get aggressive and deal with some of the Army Geniuses heroes, or even protect some of his members as well so they can get their spells off. And I mean, danog, we need to see something differently out of DB though. Like, he has been a non-factor in these previous fights, and I think that's a big reason why Army Geniuses have not had success in the past 10 minutes or so. So what do we need out of DB?
I don't know if you can kill Palos there, DB. You know, you and Varese, that is not enough. And I mean, what do we want to see differently from him? Again, you're against the Slark, right? So there's so few places on the map that you feel incredibly safe to be able to move around to. He's got the Devour that he's not really using. You've got the Hand of Midas that he's going to try and proc, but it's just about trying to find that net worth to be able to pick up the Aghanim Scepter and Execration. I think they're going to be doing everything in their power to not let that happen. That's going to be priority number 1. Don't let this Ags come online.
Oh, bottom lane. They're off the mark with the initiation. Carlo. Bob might be able to give them vision with the shards. Oh. So, Carlo's getting very close to this scepter as well. I'd love to see... It looks like they're forced to maybe connect top, but I'd love to see him get this wave. Come on, Bob, don't do it.
He's weakening it for... Okay.
Yes, indeed, indeed, indeed. Carlo's gotten some great static storms off these fights, and
Oh,
most
yeah.
of the time it's been onto the Doom as well. Like, he can pop that BKB and maybe get the ultimate off, but if you get that Scepter out onto the Doom, you're happy with trading just even a one-man ultimate, because, again, it really feels like Army Geniuses are putting a lot of their turnaround potential is on Doom in these fights now.
And it's off the back of Bob a lot of the time, right? Like, they're using him as bait just because of how beefy he is. More than 3,000 HP, BKB available. He's even holding onto the Van Brace, even though you've got things like the Blast Rig available or the Mindbreaker. He just needs to be a tanky beast, make sure that he's there, followed up by Carlo, and I mean, it's going to force out some super early BKBs from Army Geniuses in the next little bit once that Static Storm Aghanim Scepter is available. We just saw what I mentioned before with how they were able to kite out In Your Dreams BKB, but if you're forcing it super early, then that's going to be a big win for Execration. It means that he just cannot reliably join these team fights.
So it does seem like the Army Geniuses are doing the same thing that we saw at the first stages, where just split up the map, both the side lanes, and Execration having a lot of difficulties with being able to address this push. So I don't... They definitely don't have a lineup where they can brute force the high ground as well. So if Army Geniuses don't make a mistake over the next couple of minutes, they should be able to not lose a whole lot out of this second Roche.
I even like these little things like DB made sure to bring a smoke for himself just so that he's able to stay out on the map and make sure that he's able to keep these lanes pushed in without revealing too much of the position for himself. And yeah, I mean, they're just showing the issues right now. Bob's clearing out that bottom lane, but you can't go up onto this high ground. The only time Execration can afford to do that is off the back of a one-team fight where you've stolen a bunch of that essence. They're going to try and do it with the 2 minutes left on this Aegis, but...
Okay.
He popped.
Palos,
Pretty happy
yeah.
with that.
Indeed. That's an early BKB usage. He gets some essence, but... Yeah.
And you've taken a tower at the time with In Your Dream on the top side, so yeah, doing a great job of splitting up this map.
So this
We're
is...
cutting into the Shadowblade as well, so unless Slark's holding on to a gem, they might start to have some issues with being able to actually find In Your Dream in these team fights once he purchases it.
Alright, there we go. Aghanim Scepter picked up some from multiple people. Importantly, Carlo has his, but DB has his as well, which is kind of interesting that he's gone for the Scepter this game when he's got that Grim Stroke, but...
I think it's just important to be able to ignore the Lincoln Sphere. You can see that Slark's holding on to it. That's the main priority.
Okay. That's a very good call, actually, yes. I did not think about that at all.
Right, no one's perfect.
That's
you,
yeah.
you and your cute chin.
At least I got the cute chin working for me. So cut from Army Geniuses. Such a difficult position to be able to break, though. But Radiant, they're not going to play with their ward on the stairs. I'm going to go top, actually, and look to invade into their own jungle and reclaim the outpost mid. It's going to be shoved out. It's a call from Army Geniuses.
Do they want just enough for the buyback on In Your Dream? That's all I can really think of, but they must know. I mean, if Slark's positioning himself that aggressively, he's probably got boys behind him. 20 seconds left on that Aegis, so he has to be a little bit careful with his positioning. He's pinging out the fact that they've got the ward inside of the lane. Again, they're just using him as this roaming gem, even if he doesn't have the detection himself.
You can't really leave this area now in Army Geniuses. You put too many wards here to control this. If you leave and Execration get both the wards, all of a sudden the map's going to look incredibly dark and it'll be very difficult to play over the next coming minutes.
Yeah, but they've got that vision up. They've been able to take back the outpost, and they haven't had their high ground breached just yet, so... situation...
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Doesn't look like they will. They might even... Yep, Sentry Ward going down.
They're going to force them back. I like this from Palos. They're going to creep catapult wave. They have to respect the push.
They're going for the full wraparound. In Your Dream actually putting himself on the front lines. I wonder if this gives them a bit of an inkling that someone's coming
How do they
back.
get the jump? Tino, a blink in the lane, and they're going to look to go for CML. Early kill for them to find, but importantly, they've also caught out the Disruptor. So no Aghanim Storm with a static. Can they keep DB alive for the moment, though? Off the wings, a lot of damage. DB falling lower and lower, but it's not going to matter. They get the Slark, and now they're also going to be able to get Shanks. Tino, he's in with the black hole, but there's no damage source. Maybe Shank's gonna help out. A second round of the black hole. Is it enough?
Has he done it?
Furion's throwing lower, but he didn't pop the BKB on the other black hole usage. So Yowei stops it short. And now we'll look for a TPR, but he won't be able to make it as Army Geniuses. A scrappy fight, but in the end, they're gonna be able to take it.
Oh, panic, panic, panic. That's what happens a lot of the time. It was a great use of the refresher, but like you said, no BKB. Perfect use of the Astral Step just to gap close for the cast range for that Yule Scepter. That would have been a complete turnaround. That almost would have been a one-team fight, or at least stopped Army Geniuses from being able to convert this one-team fight into a push that potentially takes away a full lane of racks.
Now In Your Dream has a level 25. You always got the 25 as well, and they'll push fast. And you've got no black holes on the respawn.
Radiant's middle tower
Yep.
is under attack.
Easily buy up this Eagle Song, still holding on to the Blightstone right now on In Your Dream.
Oh yeah, crap, what the hell? I smite him, brother. Can you check what that car is going to the secret shop
Radiant's middle tower
for Radiant?
has fallen.
There's nothing on it.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
He's looking to buy an AC on Tusk.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Easy, full set of barracks mid.
Radiant's middle barracks
And they're going to look to back out. Carlo trying to find the glimpse, and he'll actually drag Varish. And an easy one for them to find, so
Nice T-Wood.
easy.
Go Scepter.
Everything, even hands over the gem just in case, and Varish doesn't even go down. So they keep the gem, they keep the life. Static Storm on cooldown, not the longest cooldown, but we just saw
Go
what.
now? No static? I mean, seems pretty significant. Plus the black hole not being available. All you're really waiting for is maybe Wrath of Nature. You've got Doom up again.
And we saw what happened in the last fight with that Doom. He targeted down the Disruptor, so now this fight you don't have to. Now you can go for someone else with the Doom. You can focus one of the easy components to kill off on Execration.
If they're just given over the tome to trying to see maybe bringing Bob up to his level 25 if possible. Of course, just trying to amplify his own damage a fair amount as well. Going into the Stormcraft on him. So a lot more of that passive damage in team fights, but notably just a nice way to be able to break things like the silence that the Void Spirit and the Earth Spirit are trying to output onto you.
It's a fast respawn, I think, as well. I didn't see the initial, but
very
it's already
fast.
up.
Yeah, it was like 20 seconds.
Both sides have pretty good vision to play with nearby. Palace is itemized into a blink, so very interesting choice from him. We spoke about kind of earlier on that Palace, a lot of the fights he was looking to try and target down the Nature's Prophet whenever In Your Dream showed. Is this any different now at this stage of the game?
No, I think it's still the exact same. I think it's just because he's got the Aghanim Shard, he can afford to make that blink, jump onto the Nature's Prophet, Abyssal Blade to lock him down, and then just pop the Depth Shroud onto himself so that there's no way that the Aghanim's Doom is going to be able to completely take him out. At least he'll have that safety to play around.
are scanning.
Doom's also getting... it'll be some time away, but that level 25 could be really important. He does want to opt for the Doom break.
I really want to see a 4-staff come out from Shanks instead of this Aghanim Shard as well. You know, that's going to be one way to be able to break the Sprout, break the Soul Binder to get the hell out of that Aghanim's Doom if it's going to be layered in on top of them. Right now, only Carlo has it, so I think they need to change their tact here.
This game topsy-turvy. Back in Army Genius's favor, and in regards to the net worth, a very big advantage. They're playing with 14,000 gold, but we've seen what can happen.
Oh man, Carlo really playing on the edge there. No buyback, they know Roshan's up, and he just walks up to a potential place where Army Geniuses have vision, and they actually did.
Jump in, Palos. Up the high ground. Look at Yowei silence! On to 3! They're going to be able to potentially bring down the Disruptor. The Solar Guardian will actually buy some time to lay down the Static Storm, but it's a black hole! That's the turnaround ultimate that we're waiting for! But is it damage enough though? Tino, second round of the black hole! And this time it's even better! No response, no rebuttal, as Execration, once again, another incredible fight at the front of the pit.
He didn't pop the BKB again on the second one, but it didn't matter that time. He connected onto all the heroes, enabling them to take this third Roche. What is it? Aghanim Scepter as well. Just give it to Tino. Why not? Right now, it feels like he's almost soloing a lot of these team fights. reckon you probably give it to Bob, though. There we go. Walrus kick at the ready as soon as he consumes it.
I'm honestly very happy with your call. I'd love it on Tino, but not the case. Bob, going into the kick. No execration. Oh, the net worth lead. It's now in their favor. What a swing. Blessing helps out. But now also the objectives that they're going to claim will further this gold advantage that they're soon to have on their side.
No creeps for now. They're just pushing out top. They've, of course, got the Desolator. They got the AC to be able to start a lot of this damage. And you can't afford Enveries to just put yourself in a super vulnerable position. So just going to need to be the waiting game, unfortunately. Wait for the team to respawn. It's going to be an agonizingly long 30 seconds for Army Geniuses.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
They'll get their own full set of barracks top and
I don't even
already.
think a glyph here is going to be all that effective. You've still got the top lane pushing in. Not going to stop any kind of backdoor protection. And now you've just opened up the threat of tier 4s and the throne with one more successful team fight. There are plenty of buybacks, though. The only ones that don't have
Let's see
it
if they
are
go.
the two supports on Army Genius.
KB, he's eyeing up. Gets the jump. There's the Doom play. Yo is going to be in as well. A lot of emphasis to try and bring down the Slark, but the Solar got him. It's enough to keep him alive. And now Mimo off to the left side, looking in your dream. He's completely isolated. The boys, they're looking for other kills instead of trying to protect the Nature's Prophet. So a big kill for them to find. But he can look to buy back and rejoin the fight, but how can he get into the middle? They're going to look to try and kite the Slark at the moment. Up to the southern side they go to kill off the Disruptor, and now back onto Shanks off to the right. They're targeting down the Dawnbreaker. They don't have the damage for the moment, so Palos actually in trouble. Plays off with the ultimate, still got the Aegis, turning to In Your Dream, but the stun holding two into place. I don't know if In Your Dream's going to be able to win the man fight. Palos, he's starting to steal too much essence. A Sprout will hold him in, but it's a dieback onto the Nature's Prophet. And Artino, he's already eyeing up more, but it's Palos that'll stop the Grimstroke from retreating.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, man. They've come back into this game,
A
Execration.
Raper on your way. He's going to run into Tino instead. He's going to try and go for the Tusk. Going to be cautious. Go Black Hole. Back up. Rapier down. And game's over. As Execration will send us to a game 3.
We ended up taking the Rapier. It's still on the ground. Go pick it up, Tino, because you were the one that, well, had multiple options to be able to bring them into this game, but you were the one that did it at the end of the day. You know, again, kills don't mean anything. They end up behind Army Genius.